quick thing, man, before we close it out, man.
Yep.
I got some really, really good news, man, to share with the fans, man, that's been waiting and being patient, man. I can't give the details. The press releases will be coming out in the next couple of weeks, man, but I've been working, man. I've been working, bro. And when I'm quiet and you don't hear it from me, I'm working. And, I finally sold my book and I finally sold my doc, and they just happened to sell around the same time. And the doc will come out first. We're gonna have the doc and the book come out the first quarter of next year. And this is something that people want to tune into, and this is definitely something they want to read, because I'm taking things to another level, man. I'm taking things to another level. It's gonna be a lot of reviews in the book and in the doc. The visuals are gonna be crazy in the documentary, but the storytelling, man, I think that's one of my hidden talents and gifts is writing, but also storytelling. You see it come out sometimes with some of the stuff that I do on air, but I just have a vision for how things should be, and I'm working with a great team on the literary side, on the book side, and with the documentary. And it's going to be two phenomenal projects that are coming out at the top of the year, man. So everybody can look for that. And like I said, the press releases with all the details are going to be coming out in the next couple of weeks.
Bro, you are killing me with these little teaser details, man. Like, how you gonna be like, I got some news, but I can't really tell y'all everything.
I can't give you the details, but I can tell you that the book and the doc is sold. And they're gonna be fired, bro. They're gonna be fired, man. And I don't say that haphazardly, because it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work, man. Like with the documentary itself, but then the book, man, because you're digging up a lot of old stuff. You're talking about a lot of different things for the first time, and you're trying to frame things right. And it can be an emotional roller coaster, man. But it's a necessary thing for me in my personal life that I feel like I gotta go through right now to bring me some closure in some areas, to reveal some things and talk about some things for myself, but then also for people that are listening, man. I hope that after people watch my doc and read my book, that they're not only inspired, but it can help them, and that they want to get up and do something. Like, man, you know what, man, I want to get up and do something. I want to overcome some things like he did. I want to, some things that I've been afraid to do. I want to start facing them things. So these are not boxing. It's not like a boxing doc and a boxing book. Like, yeah, there's boxing in there. Boxing was a large part of my life. This is a human interest story, bro. This is about life. And you're going to have everything in that book, and you're going to have a lot in that documentary as well.
Wow. The great thing is that I think there's a lot of stuff that people don't know about you now.
Yes, sir.
Like I don't know if you did that by design. I don't know if you kept things quiet on purpose, knowing that you were going to drop a documentary and a book about it. But I'm sure.
But here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. I'm gonna just share this, and I'm gonna get off. And like, my harshest critic will say, "Oh, Andre Ward is guarded." Right? I gave the media a lot. I talked about my fights. I talked about my preparation. I talked about my mental approach to training and fights, and I talked about my opponent. I talked a little bit about my personal life. I gave him enough to work with.
True.
I gave him enough to work with. But you got to realize too, like I'm an '80s baby, and the way I was raised, like to me, it's always, even today, it's a little strange. But when I came out of the Olympics and, started making my run and was getting ready to fight for a world title in 2009, like, there's nothing in me that's like, well, let me promote my fights by sharing all my family details and the good and the bad and the ugly so these people will like me. That just wasn't a thing for me, right? It wasn't a thing for me. And then I started to kind of go along in my pro career, and I'm like, okay, so I see how so this is a thing now. Like people want to share all and bear all and get people to start to, kind of get on board with their movement. And I, like I said, I did it to a point, but I also, number one, I knew I was going to always tell my story one day. So yes, that was by design. And I didn't want to exhaust my full story trying to sell fights and not have anything to talk about when my career was all said and done. Number one. Number two, and I'll just talk about media, but boxing media specifically. Like sometimes journalists and networks and stuff, they get mad because you don't give them certain things. And I think sometimes with journalists, it's like boxing journalists have to do a better job of building trust with the athlete.
Fact.
Like, you can't get mad because a person's guarded when you've given them every reason to be guarded. You can't, like, I've noticed the people that want the most have done the least to deserve it and to have done the least to build trust. And it kind of insults your intelligence a little bit, as if they don't realize that, like, you're watching their social media posts. You're seeing the things that not only they write about you, but they write about your brothers in the sport. Like, you know the truth, but then you read the article and you say, man, that's not right. You spun that a certain kind of way, man, because you don't like this dude, and that's not right. And I'm not saying you hold any bitterness toward that person, but I'm not going to put the knife back in your hand time and time again and keep on cutting me and stabbing me in the back. Like, it's okay for an athlete to move with wisdom and say, nah, I can't. Like, I'll talk to you, but I'm only going to give you a certain amount. But this guy right here, there's a level of trust that's built. Hey, I'm going to give him more. Right? Athletes, actually, most of them that I know, they don't mind talking. They love sharing it. Give me a platform to put my story out there. But what they don't love is when it's twisted, when it's flipped, and when your personal feelings as a journalist spill over into your article, or your personal feelings as a network spills over into, that's when it's not okay. So I just think that, like, that's how I move. A, I wasn't raised like that. B, I felt like I gave enough. And then C, yeah, I was very guarded, because boxing is a cold business. It's the wild, wild west. And once you done took some lumps and got your scars to prove it, you move a little bit different, and there's nothing wrong with that. Media sometimes will try to villainize the fighter moving carefully as if they have something to hide or they don't have a personality. It's like, no, I'm giving you a lot to work with. You just got to do your job and make something with what I'm giving you. So a lot of this was calculated, man, and I'm just happy, though. I feel like I'm in a great spot right now because there is a lot about my life. There's a lot about my life. There's a lot about my journey, right? There's a lot about things that I went through in the sport that nobody knows about. Nobody knows about, except a handful of my close family members, my wife, like my family knows, but I'm saying outside of my family, nobody really knows about. And I think now is the perfect time to talk about not just my life, but the details of my life and everything that came along with it, how I became who I became, how I came into my faith, just the ups, downs, the uglies, the in-between, everything, bro. And it's about trying to help people, about bringing inspiration and, bring some clarity about my life and my career and how I moved and why I moved that way. But the greater picture is for everybody, whether you're a stay-at-home mother, whether you're an executive, whether you're an athlete, whether you're male, female, whoever, to be able to pick up this book and say, man, this dude was a boxer, man, but there's way more to his life. And, man, I drew inspiration from this, man. This book was a blessing. That's the goal, man. That's the goal. So I hope I hit the mark. I'm working hard, man. In fact, I'm about to go in here and do some writing for the book right now, man. So I gave you something. Is that good enough?
That I'll take, man. Any little crumb, any little crumb, I'll take it. I definitely appreciate that, bro. Looking forward to the book and the documentary. I can't wait to see what kind of tea you're gonna be spilling in that.
Yes, sir.
And yeah, bro. I'll see you in a couple weeks at the Hall of Fame induction ceremony, brother.
Absolutely, man. I will be there, man, suited and booted.